Jumbo Shalom Tribe, I hope all is well. Today I'm coming at you with my top 10 Super Nintendo games. Before I start, I definitely want to say RIP to Masa Yuki Uemura. Believe I'm pronouncing it right. If not, my apologies. This is the creator of the Super Nintendo, a console that I enjoyed as a kid, as a youngster. Now let's get into it, y'all. Alright, y'all. Number 10 is Mario World. I know a lot of y'all might remember the old school Mario from the old school Nintendo. That's going way back. But this Mario right here was, I believe, one of the first on the Super Nintendo. And I think it was the first introduction of Yoshi. And I just had a blast with this. I thought the graphics for the time was pretty good. It was decent. I enjoyed getting the power-ups and all that, and also enjoyed looking for secrets all throughout the game. And I also love the level designs too. I love the details in the levels, even the enemies too. This was a good one. I had a fun time with it. Number 9 is Super Punch-Out. I believe this one was basically an evolved version of the Super Punch-Out of the Nintendo. I believe a lot of these games are, that I'm about to mention. Some are original, but this game, I believe, was Mike Tyson Punch-Out, the first one. And then the Super Punch-Out was just, to me, it was more graphically better. It was more, the gameplay was more immersed. I felt like you had more control. Also, you gotta remember, there wasn't a whole lot of boxing games like this at the time, so I felt like this was probably the best boxing game at the time that came out. Even though the guy that you're playing with is not like a famous athlete, famous, name boxer, but I just felt like this boxing game for its time was pretty authentic. Love this game. Number 8 is Mega Man X. Now I know a lot of y'all may have played the original Mega Man, probably on Nintendo, which was super hard. And I dreaded playing the first Mega Man, but the Mega Man X series, I'm a huge fan of this. I love Mega Man X, all of the X's. Now this game is about super cybernetic robots, androids, if you will, so if you're not into that, you probably won't like it, but I like it because throughout the game you could get upgrades for X, get them stronger. This is a fun game. Had a good time with it. Number 7 is Who Got the Pizza? Ninja Turtles. This would be, I believe, the Turtles in Time. This was the one for the Super Nintendo. I believe they had the Hyperstone on the Sega. So probably gonna do a review on that too. But the one on Super Nintendo, I had a good time because me and my friends and family would play this all the time. And I always gotta have Leonardo. I don't know about anybody else who your favorite turtle is. Go ahead and comment below on who your favorite Ninja Turtle is. But I had a good time with this. It was just a lot of button mashing. I know a lot of us remember this game from the arcades, and we just had a blast with it. It's just a beat 'em up. And number 6 is Killer Instinct. Yeah, this was a decent fighter right here. It wasn't no Street Fighter, and it wasn't Mortal Kombat for sure, but it was really fun. I think that we all can agree the characters were different, But I think the gameplay was different too, because the core element of this game is the combos that you can pull off. And the excitement, the enthusiasm of the announcer whenever you would do a combo was incredible. Killer Instinct, check it out. Number 5 is Hadouken! Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now this is one of my favorites because I'm more of a fan of the Alpha series than just a regular Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure a lot of people like their third strikes, the strikes, or even the Street Fighter combo mix up with Marvel or X-Men, stuff like that. But I always liked the Alpha because they always had some unique characters that had unique skill sets. And I love the meter gauge, the special meter gauge on the bottom, because as soon as you filled it up, you can unleash that special attack, and that special attack was always killing fools, especially in the arcade. I took a lot of y'all money. And number 4 is Pirates of Dark Water. Now I know a lot of y'all may remember the cartoon, and I'm still mad at how it ended. I remember watching it as a youngster. But the game on the Super Nintendo, I couldn't find any gameplay footage, but it did come out in '94, and there's a Super Nintendo version and a Sega Genesis version. I myself like the Super Nintendo version. It's more of a beat-em-up style. The one on Sega was more of an adventure style. You're going around collecting stuff and doing tasks. It just wasn't my style. The one on the Super Nintendo was 2 players, and you could pick one of 3 characters. The woman, Tula, the big guy, Ayas, or the main character, Rin, and they're all true to their characters on the cartoon show with the weapons that they use. And number 3 is I Just Can't Wait to Be King. We up in Lion King. Now I know a lot of y'all might love the movie way more than the game. Some of y'all might not even know that the game exists. But I just had a great time playing the game. The game is basically platformer, run and jump, collect extra lives and all that, typical games in the 90s, typical gameplay. But for me, I had a good time controlling Simba, and it is one of those kids to adult games, so it was fun watching them do the things as a child and doing certain things as a grown-up. And the abilities change too. He could do certain things as an adult lion. This was a fun game. You'll like it. Your child will like it too if you have children out there. Lion King. And number 2 is Secret of Mana. Mana or Mina. One of those. Now this is a RPG that's very underrated on the Super Nintendo. Now the Super Nintendo was plagued with a bunch of RPGs. This one is fun for me because it stood out. The gameplay was not the typical turn-based. It was real-time combat. So you could just walk up to your enemy and hit them, as opposed to pressing the fight or magic button like typical RPGs at the time, the role-playing games. This one was fun because also the graphics were incredible for its time. Once again, this was the early 90s. So the colors in this game are very vibrant, and it makes the background in the games just look incredible, as you can see. So whoever did the artwork on this game, incredible. A must play, Super Nintendo Secret of Mana. Check it out. What's number one? Donkey Kong Country. This is one of my favorites on the Super Nintendo. This game was fun. I think we all remember Donkey Kong from first appearing on Mario. I think that was the early, 80s, mid-80s. Now this one is fun for me because you could play this with a friend. It's co-op. And also just the graphics for its time was incredible. Another one of those. Because you want to visually look at something that looks pretty good. For these times, a lot of these games look pretty good. Also, the soundtrack, the music, as you can hear in the background, for this game was incredible. So I hope y'all enjoyed my top 10 Super Nintendo games. Tell me what's your favorite game. Y'all be safe. Thank you for watching. Shalom.
Time to play it loud, with over 20 awesome games. Radical features. Go back in time with Rewind. Pick a frame that fits your style. Save anytime, anywhere with suspend points. Experience super effects technology. And the never-before-released Star Fox 2. 21 games, 2 controllers, 1 sweet deal. Now you're playing with power. Super power.